I watched my mother's hands shake as she read the invitation. Gold-embossed cardstock, engraved lettering. Mrs. Victoria Ashford requests the pleasure of your daughter's company at the annual spring gala. My mother, Elena, had cleaned Victoria's home for 11 years. She knew what this was. I knew what this was. But when you grow up watching your mother scrub other people's toilets, when you've spent your whole life being invisible in rooms full of wealth, you don't turn down an invitation. Like that, you show up. You prove something. That was my first mistake. My name is Grace Moreno, and I grew up in the spaces between other people's lives. While my mother vacuumed Persian rugs and polished marble countertops, I did homework in service hallways and ate lunch in kitchen pantries. The Ashford estate was our primary account. 3 days a week, my mother disappeared into that house for 8 hours. And 3 days a week, I waited. Victoria Ashford ran in circles I only saw from a distance. Charity galas, country club luncheons. Her daughter, Chelsea, was my age, 24. We'd crossed paths maybe a dozen times over the years. She'd never once made eye contact. I'd put myself through community college working retail, got my associate's degree in business administration, found a job at a marketing firm downtown, entry level, but it was mine. I'd started building something, small apartment, used car, nothing impressive, but it didn't come from anyone's pity. My mother called me the night the invitation arrived. Her voice had that quality it always got when she talked about the Ashfords. Careful, measured, like she was afraid the walls were listening. Grace, something came today. What is it? An invitation. For you. To Mrs. Ashford's spring gala. I went silent. My mother cleaned homes. She wasn't invited to galas, and neither was I. Why would she invite me? I don't know, Misha, but it's addressed to you. Handwritten note inside. The note was brief. Grace, I've heard wonderful things about your recent accomplishments. I'd be delighted if you'd join us. It's time we got to know each other properly. Signed, Victoria. My mother wanted me to go. I could hear it in her silence. She'd spent years bowing her head, saying, "Yes, ma'am," absorbing the subtle cruelty of being help. She wanted to believe that Victoria saw me differently, that maybe, after all these years, there was respect. I should have asked more questions. I should have wondered why now, why me, why the sudden interest, but I wanted to believe it too. I bought a dress I couldn't afford, deep emerald silk, fitted, elegant. I had my hair done professionally. I told myself I wasn't trying to impress anyone. I told myself I was just showing up as myself. But the truth was smaller and sharper than that. I wanted to walk into that room and belong. The gala was at the Ashford estate. I'd been in that house 100 times, but never through the front door. The valet took my car without meeting my eyes. Inside, crystal chandeliers, champagne fountains, women in gowns that cost more than my yearly rent. Victoria found me within minutes. She was composed, gracious, every inch the socialite. She introduced me to clusters of people whose names I immediately forgot. She mentioned my mother once, casually. Grace's mother has been with our family for years. Such a treasure. I smiled, nodded, felt the weight of every gaze. Chelsea appeared an hour in. She looked perfect. White gown, hair in an intricate updo, diamonds at her throat. She moved through the crowd with the ease of someone who'd never questioned her place in the world. She stopped in front of me, champagne glass in hand, and smiled. Grace, you look lovely. There was something in her tone, something I couldn't name yet. Thank you. So do you. Mother mentioned you'd be here. I have to say I was surprised. Why's that? Well, you know, it's just not usually your scene. Woman beside Chelsea laughed softly. I felt my stomach tighten. I thought it would be nice to see a different side of things, I said evenly. Of course, Chelsea said. It's good to branch out. She walked away, The women around me exchanged glances. I felt it then. The first cold edge of understanding. Victoria announced dinner. We moved into the dining room. Long table, 60 guests, name cards at every seat. I found mine. Far end of the table. Between two older men I didn't know. Across from me, 3 seats down, was Chelsea. And next to her, a woman I recognized from my mother's stories. Diane Pemberton. Old money, sharp tongue, the kind of woman who made cruelty look like manners. The dinner progressed. Courses came and went. Conversation flowed around me, polite and impenetrable. I answered questions when asked, smiled when appropriate, felt increasingly like a specimen under glass. Then Diane spoke, her voice carrying just far enough. Victoria, darling, you must tell us about your new community outreach program. So admirable, bringing in young people from different backgrounds. Victoria smiled warmly. I believe in creating opportunities. Grace here is a perfect example. Her mother has been part of our household for years, and Grace has worked so hard to build a life for herself. Every head turned toward me. How inspiring, Diane said. And what is it you do, dear? I work in marketing. How nice. Entry level? Yes. Well, everyone starts somewhere. Chelsea leaned forward slightly. Grace and I actually grew up together in a way. She used to do her homework in our kitchen while her mother worked. Someone laughed. Soft, brief, quickly covered. I felt my face heat. I looked at Victoria. She was smiling, serene, watching me with something that might have been curiosity. I understood then. Fully. Completely. I wasn't invited as a guest. I was invited as a story, a demonstration, evidence of Victoria's magnanimity. The cleaning lady's daughter, scrubbed up and put on display. I excused myself before dessert, found a bathroom off the main hall, locked the door, and stood there breathing carefully. My reflection stared back. The dress that had felt elegant now felt like a costume. I'd been so focused on looking the part that I'd missed what the part actually was. When I came out, Victoria was waiting in the hallway. Grace, are you all right? I'm fine. Thank you for the lovely evening. You're leaving? I think it's best. Her expression didn't change. I'm sorry if you felt uncomfortable. That wasn't my intention. What was your intention? She paused. For just a moment, I saw something flicker. Not malice exactly, something closer to indifference. I thought you'd enjoy yourself. I thought it would be good for you to see possibilities. Possibilities. Yes, to see what hard work and ambition can lead to. I looked at her. At this woman my mother had served for over a decade, who'd never once asked my mother's opinion, never once treated her as more than part of the furniture. You invited me here to show me what I'm not, I said quietly, to remind me where I come from. That's not... You invited me so your friends could feel generous, so you could point to me and say you care about people like us. But you don't know me. You never asked about me. You just saw an opportunity to look good. Victoria's face hardened. I think you're being ungrateful. Maybe. Your mother would be disappointed. And there it was. The leverage. The reminder of who held power. I left without another word. Drove home in my emerald dress. Sat in my apartment. And felt the full weight of what had happened settle. My phone rang the next morning. My mother. Grace. Mrs. Ashford called me. My chest went tight. What did she say? She said you were rude, that you left without thanking her, that you embarrassed her in front of her guests. Mom, she let me go, Grace. The world stopped. What? She said she needs to make staffing changes, that she's going in a different direction. Because of me. Silence. I'm sorry, Mija. I know you didn't mean... I'll fix this. I'll call her. I'll apologize. No. My mother's voice was firm, tired. It's done. My mother found other work, smaller clients, less money. She didn't blame me out loud, but I felt it in every phone call, every careful conversation. The Ashford job had been her anchor. Steady income, reliable hours. Now she pieced together days, drove farther, worked harder. I tried to help financially. She refused. Pride, maybe. Or something deeper. A boundary I'd crossed without meaning. 2, I quit my job 3 months later. Couldn't focus. Couldn't stomach the idea of ambition, of climbing, of wanting more. Every success felt tainted. Every achievement felt like proof of something ugly. I took a job at a nonprofit. Lower pay. Quieter work. I stopped buying clothes I couldn't afford. Stopped trying to look like I belonged anywhere other than where I was. My mother and I still talk. Weekly calls, surface-level updates. But there's a distance now. A careful space. She doesn't mention the Ashford.